Wave Podcast presents.
Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright,
This is WAVEcast, a podcast where you and I compare some notes on life and what's going on in the world from our passions, problems, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Bearded Buddha. This is episode 4. You can listen and enjoy previous episodes on Spotify and SoundCloud. As always, appreciate it if you comment, review, and give me any and all feedback. You can always connect with me on Instagram and Twitter at Wave Podcast. Feel free to email questions, topics, and ideas to wavepodcasts@gmail.com. That's wavepodcast with a Z at gmail.com. Spread the word. Let's make some waves. Enjoy the show. Hey, how's it going? It's Bearded Buddha, and welcome to the show. Trying out a new format for you guys today. I'm going to have 2 topics that I want to talk about with y'all. Sorry about the wait on episode 4. I had so many different ideas about how I wanted to go forward with the show. And so I am trying this out. So tell me what you think, if you like it. And if you don't, let me know as well. Just anything, any kind of feedback is good feedback. But anyways, so we're going to talk about 2 topics today. The first one being about Stephen Hawking. He passed away this week, and just wanted to talk about him and what kind of influence and impact he had on me. The second thing that I want to talk about with y'all is going to be about a Fortnite stream that happened last night and who was involved and what kind of impact I think that has for gaming and just, gaming in the mainstream. So I hope you guys enjoy, and tell me what you think about the new format. Anyways, let's get into it. Stephen Hawking, he passed away this week, a couple days ago now, as I record this. Yeah, it was really hard in a weird way, because I hadn't really thought about Stephen Hawking in a while. Within the past couple years, I started really getting into science stuff, space stuff, things dealing with the stars, galaxies, and the universe in general. So, there's that new Bill Nye show on Netflix. I was watching that. Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I always get his name fucked up, so I just kind of throw a little tune on that. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, I read his book. It's like a astrophysics for people in a hurry. It's like a small little book, but it's good. I haven't actually finished it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but I got to. It's actually in my bathroom. So people like that, like Carl Sagan, and then obviously Stephen Hawking. And then I saw the movie A Theory on Everything, or Theory of Everything. I forget the exact title, and it was basically like a biopic about Stephen Hawking and his life from when he was in college to pretty much up to present time. It was played by the dude who's he's in the new Harry Potter movies. He's like the main character. He's that guy, but he was pretty good. He was a really good actor. He was born to play that role. But it was a really good movie. And so I started getting into his stuff and watched, he did a show for PBS or something. But yeah, so I was getting really into his work. Just kind of wanted to know, where we stood in this world and in this universe, and how's everything work, and, people like Albert Einstein and things that he had come up with, and just all these great minds, It was just something fascinating. But when Stephen Hawking's was like, when he was in college, that's when he got diagnosed with, I think it's ALS disease. And it pretty much crippled his whole body. Like, he was, for those who probably don't know Stephen Hawking's, one way they recognize him is like that robot voice and the wheelchair and everything, that he's pretty popular for. But people don't really look too much more into like, what he's done. And he wrote a book called A Brief History on Time or of Time. And I was trying to order it the other day, man. And Amazon told me to ship like 2 to 4 weeks. And I was like, fuck that. I'll wait. Because, whenever someone famous or a celebrity or anybody that's well known like passes away, like especially if they have stuff out there, and people like snatch it up. Prince dies, his album sales go crazy through the roof. So yeah, that's probably why I couldn't get it, but I'll get it and I'm going to check it out. It's probably going to be a little too ahead of me, but I'll try to make as much sense out of it as I can. I mean, from what I've heard, he's a really good writer, Stephen Hawking. But anyways, yeah, so he influenced me a lot, because of his life. Like the fact that he had gotten hit by this disease that pretty much crippled his whole body. He was like really ambitious and wanted to, learn more about the universe, and he wanted that one answer to everything. And he's just like wham, boom, put in a wheelchair his whole life, but he somehow kept like pushing himself and doing what he had to do to make sure his dreams and passions were fulfilled and completed. He spent his whole life dedicated to that cause that he had since he was younger. And, especially when you watch the movie and read up on him and understand what he was like doing and what he's known for. And you can definitely look him up and watch videos and read articles and stuff on him. He's a very interesting person and had a very interesting life. But, he was interested in black holes and all sorts of different stuff and just how the universe worked and general relativity and just how gravity, just all sorts of things that, man, thank God we have people in this world who are thinking and asking these questions, like, so we can all benefit from it and progress as like people, as like a species. Because like something about space, and when you think about space and anything to do with it, it just makes you feel like really small, and you're just kind of put in this position to put things in perspective. Like, damn, like not a lot like really matters. Not like in a depressed, like sad way, just like in the grand scheme of things, like everything, we don't even, like what we understand and what we can actually comprehend is so small compared to what's really out there. So, just the fact that Stephen Hawking's, regardless if he had like ALS, like he still was like dedicated to finding out these things, not really for his personal gain or just like a country's gain or somebody like a group. It was like, people are out there looking for knowledge that we can all benefit from. I mean, that was a very unselfish cause to dedicate your life to. I mean, there's a lot of occupations that people, have a passion for or end up doing anyways that, we should be more thankful for. And the fact that he didn't give up and they told him he only had a couple years to live and he said, fuck that, like, I'm not done here. I want to ask these questions. And there's a quote that I'll probably throw in here, but I'm not going to butcher it, but it's just like the whole thing was, be curious. Like, look up, don't look down. There's so much more out there. We have like unlimited potential to do some awesome, amazing things, like where science fiction can be like a reality, but we hold ourselves back all the time just as people, as human beings. Like, we're so flawed and we think that we're, God's gift to earth. You feel me? So he just kind of like kept his mind and soul like up in the stars, and he just was like, my body here on earth, it might fail me, but hey, it doesn't matter as long as I can think, and that's crazy. Just the deep thinkers and what they do for us. Like, don't ever think a question's stupid. That was something I did in high school a lot. And growing up in general, I didn't want to raise my hand to ask questions. Do that with anything in life. Just be curious. I think that's something that we all need to implement a lot. A lot more in our lives, because I know a lot of people who just have just taken whatever they were given and not questioned anything, not thought about these things on their own. So, if anything, look into Stephen Hawking's, his life, watch the movie, read the book, do anything. He was a brilliant man. He had a sense of humor. He was kind, and we're better off because he existed. And I think that's like a life well lived. So, rest in peace, Stephen Hawking's. You will be missed. When I found out that news, I teared up. I don't know why. I was just kind of like emotional about it. I hadn't felt that way, I think, since like Steve Jobs passed away. It was just like, damn, some really living icon, genius who is living and breathing the same air that I am, and against all odds is still living his dream. Like, I don't have an excuse anymore. Yeah. Before I get carried off, check out Stephen Hawking's.
Can you hear me? It has been a glorious time to be alive and doing research in theoretical physics. Our picture of the universe has changed a great deal in the last 50 years, and I'm happy if I have made a small contribution. The fact that we humans, who are ourselves mere collections of fundamental particles of nature, have been able to come this close to an understanding of the laws governing us and our universe is a great triumph. I want to share my excitement and enthusiasm about this quest. So remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up. Thank you for listening.
Alright, let's get back to the show. Last night I found myself playing Fortnite and also watching a stream by a Twitch streamer calls himself Ninja. I was up until about 4 a.m. Now, I get a little carried away with Fortnite. I play with my friends. It's always a good time. It's just a fun game. I don't care. I mean, I know it's very popular and some people kind of like, against like things that are going on and popular and everybody's liking, but no, Fortnite's fun and I've had a good time with it and I've known about the game since like last summer. So we've been playing it for a while. So I usually play like when everybody gets on, when the squad gets together. And but last night, like we have a group chat and it was getting like banged by one of these dudes that I play with, and he was like, "Yo, Ninja's playing with Drake." I'm like, "What?" I had heard something like was supposed to happen where he was gonna play with Drake, but a lot of people were like, is it true? Like, that's just kind of weird. Like, I know Drake's played video games before. Like, I've seen him play like FIFA and probably some other sports games like 2K, but I didn't think like Fortnite, I was like, that doesn't really seem like, but who am I to judge or know? So anyways, Drake's like one of my, if not my favorite rapper. And that's not just like a current thing. That's like, I've been listening to Drake since So Far Gone days and Thank Me Later, Take Care, Views, Nothing Was the Same, all the mixtapes, What a Time to Be Alive, More Life. I love, most of his stuff. Like, there's always going to be a couple hit or miss, but so just like the thought, I was like, damn, that'd be kind of cool though if he was playing Fortnite. And sure enough, he was. So I was watching the stream, and it was just cool. It was just really cool. And there's Travis Scott jumped in there. He's another rapper. Logic tried to get in there. He like tweeted out to Ninja. It's just this dude who, you know, is like a professional gamer pretty much. He streams on Twitch. He's been playing games since like Halo. I don't know which Halo, but because he seems like a relatively young dude. But yeah, it was cool to watch. I mean, yeah, that Ninja dude is like really good, and Drake was having a good time, and he was just, they were talking about all sorts of different shit. I mean, you can watch the stream maybe, and some audio clips and some video clips of the whole stream, and check it out because it's pretty cool. It's funny. And then Juju from the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's like a wide receiver for them. He plays football in the NFL. He was on there. So it was like this really crazy moment in gaming, I think. Like, yeah, it was cool seeing all that. And like, they had over 600,000, I think. I know over 500,000 people watching last night. And this was like late. This wasn't like 8 o'clock. This was like up until like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was wild. It was wild just seeing those numbers. Like, that's 500,000 people, you know, and there's a shit ton of people playing this game. I mean, Fortnite's a free to play game. It's free to play online. Like, you don't need the PlayStation Plus subscription, which is what you need to play with friends online. And, you know, Twitch is blowing up. It's becoming a better alternative for a lot of the gaming video people who would used to do like YouTube maybe, or do both. But Twitch, you know, there's donations, there's money and stuff. So yeah, that Ninja dude, he made a shit ton of money just playing Fortnite, which is always like, I applaud that. And, I envy that though too, because I spend like not a lot of time. Yeah. Like, that's what my PlayStation 4 has become, is a Fortnite machine. But I've been playing a lot of that, and I'm not getting paid nothing. And I've actually like spent money. I've spent like $20 on the game up to this point from buying the battle pass. But anyways, so like, yeah, it was just wild hearing Drake talk like all the Fortnite lingo. And it's just wild that, you know, gaming and nerd culture and, you know, like superhero movies and anime and Pokemon, all these things that were like nerdy and geeky even when I was a kid, and like I liked since I was a kid, is like pretty mainstream and popular. And I mean, there's been some pros and cons to that. And I mean, that happens to anything when it becomes very popular, because, you know, it's making money at the end of the day. So you know, when people see dollar signs, like, sometimes they make some stupid decisions and they can ruin some stuff. But yeah, you know, I think Fortnite's like the biggest game since Pokemon Go. Like, when everybody was playing Pokemon Go, that shit was crazy. Like, I would walk downtown, or I would drive and then walk through downtown, and it was just so many people from so many walks of life, and people that lived in the same area and stuff and had probably never seen each other, even though you drive and live and do things all in that same town. And it was crazy. And it was the middle of summer, and it was just like people who didn't even fuck with Pokemon were fucking with Pokemon. And it was just wild. And it was free. And it made a shit ton of money. But seeing, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you can like provide something for everybody that's like of good quality, you're going to make money, even if you don't charge them at the beginning. I mean, apps and, you know, mobile games have learned that. But, you know, just seeing like almost 1 million people like late in the night in the middle of the week watching these guys like playing. And this other dude's like, I saw, like, I think Bleacher Report posted something today and said that Ninja, the Twitch streamer who had Drake on, he makes like $350,000 a month. And that's just like a certain portion. Like, that's not even including the donations. Like, that you see people like donate and it'll be like, oh, thank you, you know, Blue Falcon 02 for donating $2, you know, and all that shit. But yeah, man, it was wild. And it was crazy just to be a part of that. But it's cool that, you know, Drake or someone like of that, he's like on this like cool winning streak in my eyes, like of the whole God's Plan video and all that. And like jumping on this and reaching like different people that probably don't fuck with him. And he's just like kind of like, yo, I'm just like y'all. And that's something that's like really cool about him, for as much shit people would talk about him. And then he's helping this dude out, getting subscribers and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just wild that gaming is so big. It's just so involved in a lot of people's lives. Like even my mom, she plays mobile games, which is crazy. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's like we used to live in a time in a world where all that shit was like made fun of, and that was like for the nerds and geeks, and nobody wanted to be like that. But like now it's like you're knowing this stuff is, you know, and living to see all the shit that's coming out, and it's crazy. Now there's been some bad shit. Like I'm not all for microtransactions in video games. It just depends. But like I really don't hate on anybody who's spending money in Fortnite. But it's just like, hey man, you really don't have to. So if you don't mind grinding a little bit, Battle Pass gets you enough. But I mean, that's just my opinion. But yeah, it was just wild. It was like I didn't really think any of it when I first saw it. I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And then when I jumped on the stream, I was like, oh, this is probably a Drake impersonator or something. But it wasn't. Like you could tell, like right off the bat, like, oh, this is that dude. But it's gonna be interesting to see like how many more people who are like famous start really getting into this culture. I mean, and that's what it is. It's a culture. You know, like they were talking about how like Kim Kardashian was posting pictures of anime, and that's what she like. That's what influenced like how she has her hair now or some shit, which is just crazy. Like it's just out there. Growing up when I was a kid and liking all this stuff at the peak of my childhood, like it was hard to find, and like even sometimes hard to find people who shared those interests. And now it's like everybody knows what you're talking about when you say Dragon Ball Z or the Avengers, and Marvel and DC are just names that they know. It's on their radar. But yeah, so it was really cool. And if you guys ever get a chance to check those out, check them out, because yeah, I'm pretty sure Ninja and all of them, they have links and videos on YouTube and shit that you can check out. But it was really cool. It was really cool. Hopefully this like continues, but in a positive way. Hopefully, you know, gaming doesn't become affected in a negative way, because you never know. People can get greedy. But Travis Scott was cool on there too. I wish Logic would have jumped on, but I guess they were just like, nah, maybe another time. Because I know Logic's really into gaming. But yeah, it was cool. Check it out. And if you haven't checked out Fortnite, check it out. It's free. So why not, right? At least give it a go. But yeah, that should wrap up the show for today, or this week actually. Next week we'll be on schedule. So expect these to be around this time, like near the end of the week, just to give me time to let things happen and give me and you something to talk about that's current and going on and cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah. Oh, the other one just landed behind you. He's
got it. Let me know if he's reviving his teammate.
Yeah, he is. He's reviving his teammate. Yeah,
down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it, baby.
Yeah, boom. There we go. Let's get it, man.
Let's go, baby.
No.
Oh.
That was big.
Thank you for listening to another episode of WAVEcast, a weekly show by Wave Podcast. Share this episode and others if you enjoyed what you just heard. Your feedback is valuable and important to me. I have Wave Podcasts on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, you can always listen to the show on Spotify and SoundCloud for free. Email wavepodcast@gmail.com so we can connect. You may find the links to the intro and outro music and any other audio used in this episode in the show notes. Always give credit when credit is due. Thank you once again for lending me your ears and your time. Stay positive and be good. Till next time, I'm Bearded Buddha, and this has been WAVEcast. Go make some waves.
That's all, folks.